Welcome back to the Steve Stomber YouTube channel, reminding you to always hit that stimmy. And today we are getting back to work on the Dune Buggy project. We're making some big updates, but if you guys have not seen it, we have gotten the XR running the 1986 Honda XR600R. I'll put the video right up here. We picked up this bike for $550 plus a tub of my company's pre-workout, Mammoth FX. And today we're going to be rebuilding the brakes on this thing and also giving it a freight... Whoa, country.
Trying too hard or you're not trying hard enough. I don't know what the fucking problem is.
All right,
but let's go. It's fucking 5 lines, man.
5 lines, okay. Well, maybe you give me a line reading.
I don't want to give you a line reading.
Well, you're the
if I wanted to give you a line reading, I just fucking get in front of the camera and do it.
And today we're going to be rebuilding the brakes and also giving it a fresh paint job, getting rid of all this rust and crustiness. And since this channel is focused on our profit, we are actually going to be keeping track of everything that we spend in order to get this go-kart or dune buggy, whatever you want to call it, fully functional and looking the best. So we previously spent $528 total, including this dune buggy delivered.
It was at this moment that he knew.
But anyway, let's get back into this dune buggy. Loosen. Close. A lot of air is coming out. Loosen. Close. I think it looks like it's sucking air in though. So when bleeding the brakes, the goal is to get all the air out of the brake line so you have the same density fluid all throughout. But unfortunately we had air going back in, so this is a big issue. So this turned out to be a hole in the braided line, so air was going back in and actually negating all the progress we were making. Luckily I had a spare ready to go so we could snap that on and get to the next problem. So sorry for the noise, we got one of my neighbors, I guess, painting, blowing air out of his house. But anyway, we have bled the brakes and we still don't have any stopping power, which is obviously an issue. And when I'm looking at the brakes, I'm not seeing any movement on the caliper. So what it's supposed to do is you get that hydraulic fluid, it's supposed to push the 2 pads in, compress on that brake, boom, you stop. So I have a ton of pressure in the pedal. The actual brake was working, but I'm not seeing the caliper actually moving and grabbing the brake. I think the pads actually might still be in decent condition considering the hours on this engine. But who knows what time is done to those pads. Maybe they're just disintegrated as well and we just got to get rid of them. But what we're going to do is we're going to take off the caliper here and we're going to take a look, and I'm just going to think that those, pistons that pretty much close the brake, I think they're just stuck. So I've been spraying them with a little bit of like PB Blaster, the lubricant. But then we're going to take them off and see if I can unpry them and get them unstuck and see if that's going to resolve the issue. So one thing I'm noticing is, so this is nice and flat here. Then when I look inside at this one right there, it's bent up right here. So these guides here is actually what the brake pads slide on. So think of it as like a sliding door. And if you had a huge bump or like nick in your sliding door and you couldn't close it, so it actually prevents these brake pads from fully closing. But we're actually going to put this issue to the side and get to the bigger issue of the pistons on the brake caliper being completely stuck. Now I will say, on the bright side, at least these brake pads are completely functional, perfectly good, which actually saves us a total of $40. Since this is an old unknown go-kart, these brake pads are pretty hard to find. So these pistons were stuck. I mean, I was trying to pull on them with the pliers and also pump the brakes at the same time, trying to get them to budge for a pretty long time, and then they finally budged. But we only got one side.
That makes me a sad panda.
But I was 100% determined in order to get this caliper fully working. This caliper was going to run me $70 if I had to buy a new one. So what I did to resolve this issue and to get both of them working was I noticed that they shared the same diaphragm, or like kind of air pocket, if you will. So what I did was I pushed down fully as I was pumping the brake on the one piston that was able to move up and down. And if you guys remember PivNert from school, pressure, volume, then you have the moles of the gas, and then you have the gas constant, and then you have T as temperature. So those two things aren't changing, so we're cutting down the volume, so the pressure is going to be greater as I push down on that one piston. Boom, baby, we got that other piston to work. We started lubing it up, and now we are back in business. So with that issue fully taken care of, we can get back to bending this piece of metal back in shape. So now we have the brakes on. We're going to be doing a full brake test towards the end of this video, but let's start restoring how this thing looks because I can't stand looking at it. So we got the rust and chipping paint off, time to give her a wash. And while we're waiting for her to dry, we're actually going to be taking care of these seats. So I spray painted the seats to give them a whole new look. They were looking pretty rough before. There was some like marker on them or whatever. We got rid of that and they're looking fresh. So since this channel is focused on profit on these builds, we spent a total of $38 on spray paint. And bam, that is the finished product. So comment below and let me know what you guys think of this color choice. I'm not sure if I 100% love it, but I think I'm going to be making a few more improvements to it. It's going to get a little bit more glimmer. I'll show you guys in the next episode. So you got to steer it?
I'm trying. I think you got to push it. Okay.
No power steering here.
Okay, brake. I'm pushing all the way down.
You're pushing all the way down?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let go.
Okay.
Okay, and brake. Shake. Alright, so go.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go a little faster. Okay, and brake. Woo, we got brakes, girl.
Nice job, boy.
Okay.
Beep, beep.
So now we know the engine runs, we have brakes, but we still have a good amount to do in order to get this street legal. So in the next episode, we're gonna be throwing on more lights. So we're gonna be throwing on headlights, turn signals. We're gonna be putting in a few accessories into this, including a cell phone charger, 2 cell phone chargers actually. If we get it to be street legal, then it can compete with golf carts. So it has that cool functionality for in town. You could also take it off road, so it has that functionality. That's what you can't do in a golf cart. So I think we get a pretty penny for it. So make sure to subscribe to not miss a beat on this project, along with several other projects. We're gonna be doing a test drive in this very, very soon. Just wanna get the lights on there and tune up a few more things before we're ready to go. And if you guys wanna hit that stimmy, just like I did when I've been buying all this stuff on Facebook Marketplace, the link will be in the description for the shirt. I designed it myself. I love this thing, and this thing is pretty cool. And if you guys want to check out my other world, my startup company, Mammoth Lab Supplements, we just launched our 2 products onto Amazon. We have a 2-in-1 post-workout, and then we also have our new pre-workout, Mammoth FX. So that is it for this video, guys. I am ecstatic to have brakes on this thing finally, and we are at a total of $571 in on this build.